Let's freaking go. So this is going to be very interesting. What is going to happen with Jayden freaking Daniels? Obviously, the story of today was Marcus Mariota, but we'll get to his plays in just a second. We get the zone read play here. Obviously, Jayden with the pull. This is a ridiculous cutback versus a very athletic Jeremy Chin. And then obviously at this point, you see Jayden actually does protect himself. And you'll see that he just kind of goes limp right here to protect. And it's still kind of an awkward land, right? He's obviously going limp and trying to protect his body. But you'll see that the guy right here just lands on him awkwardly. You can see his body is still vertical, but his lower half is just on the ground, and it creates a very awkward land, and Jayden actually catapults in the air. So just a weird land right there. We move ahead here. He just wasn't the same after that. They had some really good runs with B-Rob, and the offense was still doing really good things. Honestly, I want to give the Panthers a lot of credit for sorting out this Trips bunch. We've seen NFL teams really struggle to defend this. Either way, this is just good defense on the bottom. Jayden likes to play quick, and he just gets rid of it, and Austin Eckler gets hit really hard. Obviously, Jayden had another shot at this. He's probably going to want to work Zach Ertz versus a smaller corner here, but he just wasn't feeling himself, and then Mariota steps in. All right, so here he is. He missed a deep shot to Dyami Brown, and they had to settle for a field goal, and Dyami was open. Man, this zone blocking scheme from the Commanders has been really good. So zone blocking to the left, tight end kicks out here to the right, and you're just trying to read to see if there's something open to the left. If there's nothing open, you just try and get as vertical as you can. And the Commanders' offensive line has done a really good job this year flowing these defensive linemen and allowing the running back to get vertical for good gains. So this was my favorite play to study by the Commanders in this entire game. Kliff Kingsbury getting really sexy here. So what you don't notice here is the right tackle is actually an offensive lineman. So the Commanders elect to get in 12 personnel, but they decide to do something called an unbalanced line, where they bring an offensive tackle over to the left side of the line. So there's actually 3 offensive linemen over here, and a guard and a tight end playing a tackle, and then you have your normal tight end right here. And this can get you out gap. This can get you out of sorts. It could change the strength call. So what they elect to do is run counter GT. All right, so they're pulling the guard and the tackle, but in theory, this is a tight end. So very creative way to get the run game going. And it works really well. Obviously, you're getting some really good down blocks, getting these DTs, sealed off to the outside here. You get a nice lead block right here from Ben Sinnott. Actually, he doesn't even hit anybody, but B-Rob is able to get through there so clean that it really doesn't matter, and he's able to score. Because the Commanders had a pretty big lead, Mariota actually started this game slow, right? He missed Dyami Brown on a few throws, and then after that, he just got back to his Oregon Duck playmaking days, right? This is as clean of a pocket as you're going to see, and he's able to hit the comeback round here to Terry McClaurin. And then, honestly, this is just so freaking easy for Mariota, right? You're running all these vertical routes. There's no pass rush whatsoever, and he steps up into a pocket that was good to begin with. And because, you have a really good receiver with this much room versus a DB here, Mariota has plenty of time to actually make this throw on the over to Terry McClaurin, right? That's so much space for him to operate. This deep over to Zacchaeus was also open. This right here is some downright sexy quarterback play. My goodness gracious. You get another really good pocket, and watch Mariota get this football over the robber here, and he's able to fit that football. He finally gets Dyami Brown, who had been getting open, and he had just been missing him, for a nice gain. Then this is obviously vintage Marcus Mariota. I mean, this is just ridiculously good quarterback play. They're trying to run some kind of stunt here. the Panthers might have the worst defensive line in the NFL right now. Obviously, they seal it off really well, and you never want to lose contain to a right-handed dual-threat quarterback. And right here, you're thinking Marcus might run for this. He might as well. Could have ran this in, but look at where he ends up throwing this football. Bang, right to Zach Ertz, right there for the tutty. Really sexy stuff. And this is where Marcus really started to shine, right? Once he got comfortable and he was playing with such a big lead, he comes in off the bench and plays absolutely phenomenal football, right? As you can see, the Commanders are running all vertical stuff and nothing's open. Okay, it looks like it's vertical, and then there's a corner right here behind it. And Marcus doesn't like any of it. So once again, the Panthers getting absolutely no pass rush. Julius Peppers probably somewhere disgusted watching this. And Marcus decides to roll out to the left where his receivers are to begin with. And guess what? He's like, hey, you're going to give me all of this. I'm just going to pick up these yards all day, every day. And you're going to see him tightrope the sideline. It's a good block right there from B-Rob. And look at all these extra yards he is able to pick up. I mean, that is ridiculous. I'll be honest, and this will come off kind of nefarious. That's okay. It felt like the Panthers were trying to tank. You get some RPO action here, little fake run handoff, and Mariota sees all this space right here. Mariota, I might be saying his name wrong. Whatever the case may be, I really loved watching him at Oregon. He's able to hit Zach Ertz right in stride, and Zach Ertz looking like prime Zach Ertz here. Picks up a huge gain. And this was huge, okay? Remember a minute ago, we were talking about the tight end formational diversity. Guess what? They do it again, right? But this time, instead of just having 2 tight ends to the left, it's now 3 tight ends to the left. And they split zone one of them, which has been Sennett. So they're thinking, hey, the last time they did something like this, they just ran with B-Rob at a pistol. This time it's a split zone action. All you need Sennett to do is just get out into this flat. Corner can't get out there in time. And guess what? He's there. You also could have had Noah Brown. And it is a tutty. Like there's Jayden showing some love. Let's go. Gets interesting. Play action fake. And it might have been an RPO. I don't know. It looks like that was just a play action all the way. And you'll see Marcus is looking right at Terry McClaurin right here. And once again, I can't see the safety chin right here. It looks like he is bailing, but that would be a tight throw. So Marcus is like, hey, we got a big lead. Let me make sure that I don't try and force this football here. Basically a pick six is the only way you're losing this game. He decides to wait for another window to open, and he fits this in a tight one to Terry Scary McClaurin. All right, it's 3rd and Capitol Heights, and, if you're the Panthers, you need a stop, right? So why are you backing your coverage so unfreaking believably far back, right? I am not letting anybody just sit at the sticks, and this actually is some good anticipation for Marcus. Look at when he's deciding to throw it. Noah Brown isn't here yet, and that's really good stuff. It's also very easy when your safeties are sitting all the way back in Silver Spring, and you pick up a first down. Why you should be very skeptical is honestly the Panthers did not try defensively. The Falcons game was kind of weird after breaking that game down. And once again, I don't watch a lot of Panther stuff. Look, guys aren't even in their stances. They're so far back here on this 3rd and 7. And I want you to see how many guys are just open, okay? This is there. Obviously, some would say, hey, you just want to give up the underneath stuff and force them to kick a field goal. But that is bang, bang right there for a first down. It's getting tackled pretty quickly. But, man, this is really easy. And if he didn't want this, look at where Austin Eckler is. Guys just running this wide open. I mean, I understand it's 34-0, but, man, it is 3rd and 7. And, man, it's... you got these receivers stacked. This is just, very basic throughout the NFL. And, you would like to see this thrown. But Mariota says, no, I'm not doing this basic stuff. I won the freaking Heisman Trophy. I'm 30 years old with a head of gray hair. So you can see he pumps and then waits, looks back to the right to see if Sinnott is still there. He decides to not throw it. And then watch what he does here. A little Jayden Daniels Houdini act to get through the middle here. And then instead of just tucking and running, he does eventually find an open receiver down the field. Noah Brown was also just chilling at the Holiday Inn with Chingy and a couple of friends. And Terry McClaurin picks up a first down, okay? So what do we want to make about this Mariota game? Well, obviously, the Panthers, they're not necessarily playing to win. Every game they've lost is by double digits. 4 or 5 have been by 18 or more. And honestly, a lot of them have been 25 to 30-point blowouts. And look, Mariota 18 to 23, 67 QBR, really making some sexy highlight plays. But having the lead for him to start off rusty really allowed him to get very comfortable versus a pass rush that can do anything that wasn't able to do anything versus this Commanders offensive line that, to me, was a real MVP of this game. I mean, they have honestly been the most surprising unit in the NFL. Many actually had them as the worst offensive line in the NFL heading into the season. So this group continues to play at an extremely high level, and I didn't shout out Dante Fowler, who was a one-man wrecking crew, the pick six and the other plays that he made. Just a total team effort by the Commanders, and we'll check on Jayden's status a little bit later in the season, a little bit, pretty soon. So, look, I'm still all in on the Commanders. They do need Jayden Daniels back, but it was very fun to see Marcus ball out. Now, my question for you: is this the best backup quarterback in the NFL, right? I think what the Steelers are doing with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields is very, very, very interesting. And you get a 3rd and 2, just a bootleg here. Kind of crazy to call this when you're up by 30. And Mariota gets absolutely crushed here. But, man, what a performance from the Commanders. And I think at this point you have to put them in the top 3 overall teams in the NFC. It is Power Hour NFL. Boom. Look at Jayden. And tonight we are doing what are we doing? Oh, some enchiladas. Let's go.